Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 73rd episode of The Ruins of Warsaw. I'm Alexandra, and I'm the storyteller.
Hi, I'm Dolores, and I'm playing Janina of Clan Brua.
Hi, my name is Faye, and I'm playing Beatrice Wozniak of Clan Malkavian.
And as always, we have partners with us taking care of chat and helping us with tech, which was very much needed today. That's why we are somewhat late. It wouldn't be our stream without something going wrong in terms of technology. But we're here now. We had a bit of a longer break. That also wasn't planned, but life got in the way. But hopefully we can now go back to a bit more regular streaming. Thank you all so much for being with us. We really appreciate you. And we're glad you're with us to continue the story of our two kindred. So, since we had an unexpected longer break, we definitely need a recap. Last time we played, Janina was staying away from Hotel Bristol, needing some time to process her sire's final death. She was spending time with her ghoul, Hannah, and allowed Hannah to accompany her on a feeding outing, which scared Hannah and scared her even more when she realized that although Janina tried to hide it, she, on some occasion, killed someone while feeding. But Janina managed to calm Hannah somewhat, and they went back to the haven to have a quiet night, which was, however, disturbed by a strangely behaving bat that kept knocking on the windows, and only left when Janina angrily told it to tell its masters to come see her. Meanwhile, Bea, following her orders and her task, got to Sabbat with Arek, a gangrel, her former coterie mate, whom she freed. She was welcomed by La Sombra, Anita, who quickly chained her to the wall to wait for what comes next, and witnessed the Sabbat members arriving, but observed their interactions, seeing that they are based on violence. Bea also had a conversation with a Malkavian, Kasper, a husband of Beatrice Wozniak, who was very confused about her identity, but struggled to express what bothered him. And as the night finished, Bea was buried in a quickly dug grave for the day, but before she drifted into sleep, she visited Antoni, leaving her body and traveling to him in astral form. The next night, Janina came back to Hotel Bristol, and she spoke with Antoni Bielecki, the sheriff, about what happened when Daniel died. She assured Antoni that she was done with Nastia, her now former lover, who stopped Janina from killing the Zimishi Ziemowit who killed Daniel. Janina expressed the belief that Nastia never loved her, and offered that she was ready to help to avenge Daniel. But she also spoke with Antoni about Bea, and Antoni said that Bea visited him before the end of previous night, at which Janina was jealous but relieved, and they spoke for some time about caring for Bea and wanting to ensure that she safely returned to the Camarilla. Later on, Janina ran into Jagoda, a gangrel hound, who briefly talked with her about what happened and was surprised that Janina was not angry with Antoni. They spoke about losing the people you care about, echoing the conversation they had when they were both saying goodbye to Zygmunt Ray, the killed Bruja Primogen. And in the end, Jagoda also gave Janina some tips on how to survive on her own if she was to leave Camarilla and it all and try it. Meanwhile, Bea woke up, buried, and not immediately, but in the end, was dug up for a Sabbat celebration. She witnessed a conversation when some people suggested that Arek should just diablerize her. And there was a little bit of a discussion going on, but the matter was settled by declaration that Bea was to be taken to Lady Leocadia. Arek got into a fight with some other young members of the Sabbat, and Bea was observing that they were all trying to establish their strength. She was ready to join the fight and help Arek, but was stopped by Nastia, who asked her about how Janina was doing, and also warned Bea that Sabbat was not a place for her. Nastia urged Bea to run away if she has a chance, but Bea protested, saying that she doesn't want to be afraid anymore, which Nastia, well, didn't seem very convinced by. And finally, as Bea was chatting to Nastia, new people arrived for this celebration, including Ivmina, the Malkavian, now looking like Bea, and Bea's sire, Felicia. And that was where we ended. And we will start with Janina this time.
Oh no, I wanted to see what happens.
Oh, I also absolutely forgot to mention that Janina also, before where we are right now, went to Elysium to find Magda, the Tremere, who's helping her at her lab, and who inquired about her well-being after Daniel, Janina's sire, was killed. And they chatted briefly at the Elysium and agreed to go to the lab together in an hour, and Janina asked Magda not to leave her alone, fearing that Nastia might try to summon her. So that's actually important, because that was where we ended.
I don't remember that, but...
Well, that's what happened.
Yeah,
so you agreed to meet Magda.
If you didn't say it, I would never remember it.
Well, you know it now.
Yeah.
You agreed to meet Magda in an hour, but you were heading to your room where Hannah is.
Yeah, then I'm going to my room and to see what Hannah's doing.
So you come in and you see that Hannah is sort of glancing around. She's arranging some of the food that she brought here on the table. You see the table is slightly chipped from when you smashed all the furniture. Hannah doesn't seem to mind. She looks to you the moment you enter a room and gives you this shy but warm smile.
I'll smile back at her and just go sit next to her.
So, how did your conversations go?
Everything's fine. Me and Magda and you, if you want, we will go to the lab, to the hospital in about an hour. So unless you want to do something else, you of course can join us.
Roll your perception and empathy. Difficulty 6.
Okay, just give me a moment to find it. Okay. 2 successes I had.
So you see, she's not hiding it, that she is scared at the prospect of staying here on her own. And then she smiles and just says, well, I got a lot of sleep during the day, so I can come with you.
Of course, I'll protect you. And
I know.
pat her hair.
And you see that she is reassured by you, but she's generally tense.
Did something happen here while I was away? You seem scared.
No, it's just, well, charisma and persuasion. Difficulty 5.
Two successes again.
Okay.
I guess that's my role today.
So she hesitates for a moment, but then looks to you and almost like remembering that it's you, she continues. It's just that you said that sometimes people like you can hurt someone accidentally, and there's a lot of them here, right? And I don't know, I just feel uneasy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I understand, but I can assure you that here you don't have to be afraid. Everyone's here knows that to take care of themselves. If something happened, it wouldn't happen here at the hotel.
All right, okay. And she relaxes a little bit at that. That's good to know.
But I will be happy if you will accompany me and Magda on our way at the hospital. I'm sure you're learning there a lot.
I'll come with you.
Okay, I'm so glad.
There is a knocking on the door, interrupting your conversation.
I'll get up and I go open the door slightly to check who it is.
It is Lucian Topolsky, the former sheriff, standing there, looking very elegant, as always.
When I notice it's him, I just smile and open the door like fully, so Hannah could see him.
He says, Miss Shivak, can I speak with you for a moment?
Okay. Do you want to come in? Or
of course. And he glances and sees Hannah, hesitates briefly, but then steps in.
Okay. All right, then I close the door behind him.
He looks to you and says, I came to express my condolences on the death of your sire.
I feel like at that, my smile just like fades and I just nod. Thank you. I appreciate you coming to express your condolences.
I heard what happened from Mr. Bieletsky. And I'm sorry about what happened with Nastya.
I'm sorry too. I just wish things were different and I could have saved him.
As do I. I'm very sorry.
Thank you. I really appreciate your friendship and how is Dominic doing?
Well, perception and empathy again.
Well, it's not a good roll.
Okay.
It's a botch.
It's a botch, so you
I had no success and 2 ones.
Well, he has like 6. So there's no expression that you can read on his face at all. And you just seem confused. Like looking at him, you don't. It's not even that you like don't get anything. You just don't. You can't even guess by looking.
Okay.
Um,
Mm.
but then he hesitates for a moment and continues. It's another thing I wanted to speak to you about. I'm worried for him.
I
He was better a few nights ago. He said that Miss Wozniak helped him. But he's back to being erratic and distracted. And he glances to Hannah and glances to you.
I just tell him it's okay. You can trust her. She's with me.
Because you can't read him, you can't read anything
I know.
more into
I
him.
know.
So he just he hesitates for a moment, and then he kind of leans back the wall and shakes his head. "Oh, all right then. Well, I know he's drawn back to her.
Yes. Is there any way we could help him sever the tie with her somehow?
Just time.
Do you want me to distract him, or do you have
If
anything
you're
in mind?
able to do anything, I would appreciate your help."
Okay. We are going to the hospital in a bit, but when we get back, I'll make sure to go see him. And maybe I could, I don't know, distract him with something to keep him occupied. Michael, yes. Sorry.
No worries.
Yes. He loves to annoy me. Okay. Yeah, that's what I tell Lucian, that I'm gonna get to see Dominic after we get back from the hospital.
He nods his head and says, "Thank you. If you
Of
need
course.
anything from me,
Thank you.
you can count on it, Miss Shivak."
I know. Thank you. And I give him a nod.
He knows it too.
A sad smile.
Gives you a sad smile too, but before leaving still asks, "And how are things with Nastya?"
You mean between me and Nastya?
I know you were very torn on the matter.
I was, but that was before what happened with Daniel. And I don't know how much Anthony told you, but I was almost killing the man, the Tsimichi that killed Daniel, but she stopped me. And I think that was the deciding factor for me. I mean, I still, of course, care for her, but I don't want to have anything to do with her anymore. I don't trust her.
He gives you a very sad smile. That's probably wise.
I know.
I gave you a piece of advice before, but it seems that she doesn't want to come back to you?
No. I think she wants me to come to her, but that's not gonna happen. So, and now, if things would be different if she let me kill the Tsunichi, maybe I would have run away with her or something, but like this, it's not worth it. I have people here that I have to take care of.
He gives you a very sad smile and says, no, it's not. Don't take the path that I'm taking. And then he shakes his head and says, I'm sorry. I'll better leave you to it, Miss Shivak. You said you had plans.
Yes, but just I will place my hand on his shoulder as he is leaving. Dominic's not lost yet, and he loves you, and we can still save him.
You don't even know how much I hope you're right.
We'll keep trying.
I certainly will, to the very end.
I know.
And he gives you another sad smile and leaves.
When he leaves, I just turn my attention back to Anna.
And we'll come back to you.
That's the good stuff.
There.
Hello.
You see across the flames the silhouette of Felicia as you recognize her immediately. Her shape of her face, the elegant clothing she's wearing, the way her hair is put up. And you see next to her a woman looking like you, holding her arm, walking with her. And beneath your face, you see the faint contour of Irmina's face. You see Casper, you spoke to before, come up to them, saying very polite hello to your sire, taking Irmina's or Bea's hand and giving her a kiss on the cheek. And then you see Irmina still looking like you, see Arek and run to him to give him a hug. You see a bit of confusion in Arek, but then there seems to be some recognition, and he laughs and pats her on the back. And what's going on in your head? What are you doing as you're watching that scene?
I think I'm frozen. And I kind of almost don't follow her with my gaze after she runs to Arik. I'm still looking at Felicia.
And you see Felicia, you just see that Felicia turns her attention first to Casper briefly, chatting with him, and then to the woman with longer red hair who came with them.
And I'm just feeling so replaced. I don't even really, I think there's kind of this just frozen feeling. I'm almost numb at the moment. There's a kind of shock in me. I'm not surprised, but even that lack of surprise isn't helping me necessarily process seeing this. I'm just staring at Felicia and feeling both this longing and also deep hurt.
You hear Nastya come closer to you. Doesn't quite coming into your line of vision, but standing next to you right now. Don't. I don't know what you might decide to do at some point about this, but maybe you need to just leave it be.
Maybe. And I look down at the floor. And I'm sort of blinking quickly, trying to prevent any tears from forming.
Roll your self-control. Difficulty 8, I would say.
One success.
You just about barely manage.
I think I stand with my eyes closed for a few seconds and sort of open them again once I feel myself shakily come under control. And I sort of turn almost with my back to the scene behind me, but still kind of with Felicia just sort of on the edge of my periphery.
And you see some movement on the edge of your periphery as she speaks to someone else. You think Florian. Nastya observes you. How are you feeling right now?
Awful. I think I would like to try and keep that under control after the sort of initial shock. But like I said, I feel replaced. I feel hurt, but I also feel guilt and partially like it's my fault, but also hurt and betrayed. And sort of, I probably briefly glance back over my shoulder and then seeing Ermina with Arek, just that feeling of being replaced just continues to just grow.
Roll your self-control and subterfuge.
Is it difficulty 6?
Yes.
Trying to read my dice is tricky. That's...
I know that feeling.
Yeah. 3 successes.
That's a roll-off.
Oh, okay. Get them back again. Ooh, that might be a better roll. 2, 4, 6 successes.
Okay. Then you maintain very good composure. Nastya just looks to you. Listen, I don't want to pressure you to run. You say you don't want to be afraid anymore. But this place will not teach you bravery. You have to have a conviction, a reason. From the time I've known you, I don't think you fit in here.
That's fair. I can't go back. So I'll either make it or I won't.
All right then. Well, I hope you do make it.
Thank you. I kind of glance back over my shoulder towards the fire and the bodies.
You see the bodies, you see people who are leaving, shaking or crying somewhere, some in chains, some with broken limbs. And you see the woman with long red hair, the beautiful, stunning woman, coming towards you, and she comes very close to you, almost between you and Nastya, putting her arm around Nastya. Gives you a quick glance, but her eyes don't linger on you at all. And she leans towards Nastya and says, "Come, that's enough of that." And she leads her away, and Nastya starts talking with her as they're walking away. She gives you one glance back, you think with a certain concern as she's looking at you. But she walks away with the red-haired woman.
And I'm left alone.
You are. And we'll come back to you. Meanwhile, Janina, you turn your attention to Hannah, who looks very confused and very tense as well.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out what to tell her. I'm sorry. He's a friend, and his boyfriend is also my friend, and he has been through a lot lately, and he's worried for him.
You see, there's certain, like, she takes a moment to process when you describe their relationship, definitely, but doesn't like decide to question it or say anything. She just kind of nods her head. She's looking pretty overwhelmed with everything.
Don't worry about him. I'm sorry if he worried you.
Everyone is having problems here, aren't they?
I think everyone everywhere is having problems.
That's
It's
true. That's true. The world is horrid.
Yeah, and it's just, this is like the place where we all live, and there are people forming friendships, love interests, and it's just like a tiny little city. So
Are they all like you?
what do you mean?
Like drinking blood?
Most of them, yes, but there are also some that are like you, and some, like guests of the hotel, have no idea about us, and they are just normal people.
Do you feed off them?
No, there's like a rule that we shouldn't just feed off people here in the hotel.
Okay, all right.
So we are just coexisting.
I think Going to hospital for a bit will be good.
Yes. Are you ready? Do you need to?
I'm ready. I can go now.
Okay. Then I'll wait for her and we can leave. Are we supposed to meet, like go there with Magda, or is she coming there?
Yeah, you're supposed to. You wanted her to be nearby because you were
Okay.
concerned about
All right. That makes
Nastya
sense,
calling
yes.
you.
Okay.
I think you agreed to meet in the lobby, so you will
Okay.
have to wait there for a little bit. But you've talked to Lucian for some time, and it's not gonna be very long.
Okay. I think maybe I buy Hannah some coffee and we just like sit there at the lobby while we wait.
You do. It is very expensive.
Yeah, I know.
You have like maybe cash enough to pay for this one coffee.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it for her. She's stressed. Treat my girl.
She takes it, and she also is like, "Are you sure?"
Yes, it's fine. I'll find more money.
She takes it and she drinks it. And what are you thinking about as you're waiting for Magda after you talk to Lucian?
I think my thoughts like slipped to Daniel because like I was distracted and thinking about other stuff, but now when he mentioned it and I realized that Daniel's gone and that I can never talk to him again, it really makes me feel sick with grief. But when I feel like it's getting too much and I don't want to cry, so I start to think about Dominic and trying to figure out what I could like do for him, like distract him, maybe try to ask him to teach me to dance or something. I'm worried about him. I don't want to lose someone else to the spot.
And after some time, you see Magda wearing a long brown coat, dressed clearly for going out. She comes to the lobby, gives you a nod and a smile, and comes up to you.
Hey.
Hey. Hi, Hannah. And Hannah nods at her and smiles. And you see that Hannah is more relaxed with her. Like, they spend some time together. So she doesn't tense up as much as with Lucian. Shall we?
Yes, of course. And I'll wait for Hannah to finish her coffee if she didn't yet, and then we leave.
She finishes just about now. And you start walking towards the clinic. Magda is pretty quiet on the way. She talks to Hannah a little bit, asking Hannah if she remembers how to do certain things. It is a very gentle test to try to see if Hannah remembers the basics of like the tasks she was taught.
I think I realized what she's doing and I just like smile, but I'm just like looking somewhere else so they didn't see it. But
And
I think
Hannah, she's doing okay. She stumbles on her words a couple of times. And you feel like specifically that some of the terminology for like medical devices and chemical compounds, she forgets, she hesitates, she messes up a little bit. But Magda very gently corrects her and is pretty encouraging through it all.
Okay. Then I probably do just some like small talk and about like since we are talking about work, then I just like chime in and just talk more about everything that we're doing.
And you talk more about work, and Magda describes to you what she managed to do, how she managed to get some more blood stored there and slightly improve upon the solution that you devised, but it's generally good. And And it seems to be working after all the tests. And eventually you get to the hospital, and we'll get back to you. Bea, you're left there on your own for a moment.
I think I stare at the fire so that I don't have to look at anyone in particular. And I kind of lose myself watching the motion of the flames, and I try to just focus on that. I guess I almost sort of open myself up to watching the flames move and the way the smoke curls up and away into the sky.
As you're doing that, roll your perception and alertness with difficulty 7.
I have 3 successes.
So, despite it, at some point, through the flames, you see again the face of your sire, now looking straight at you through the flames, looking eyes with you. And although you were lost for some time in the smoke and the flames, you notice it. You see Felicia looking at you, and you see the distress and anger on her face as she turns to Irmina, who's wearing your face. And you hear her voice asking, "What is this? Is this some joke?" And you see Irmina gently caress her arm and her hair, saying, "Mother, it's all right. Let's go away. Let's sit down somewhere." And you see Felicia looks around and like clearly agitated. And Anita is nearby, and she just calls out to her, "Anita, can you get rid of her?" And you see Anita just shake her head a bit and roll her eyes and say, "Sorry, madam, this one is for the voivode." And Felicia keeps like looking quite agitated to you and to Irmina and to you and to Irmina. And Irmina puts an arm around her and pulls her closer and says, "Mother, please let me take away some of your distress. It's going to be all right." And you see Felicia calm as Irmina is embracing her. And because you rolled well, you also hear footsteps behind you.
I turn at that.
You see Arek coming up to you. How are you feeling?
I'm concerned. There's a part of me that also wanted to take away Felicia's pain, but also was worried that if I got closer, I'd cause her more pain. And so I'm almost wondering if it would be better if I left, but I also know I'm not supposed to go too far. So I guess I turn my back in hopes that I will then be less distressing for Felicia to see. And I turn to look at Arik, but I'm internally scared and confused and wondering whether Mother didn't realize she's got a spare daughter. I guess I'm sort of trying to interpret the encounter as best I can, but I think my gut hopes that that's what's happened, and that maybe I can return to her. Maybe she didn't want to replace me.
And you see Arik come up to you, and he looks to you, and he looks towards you, Mina and Felicia, and to you. And then he shrugs and just says, "Yeah, that's fucked up."
Yes. Yes, it is.
Look, Mina, she's been through a lot. I don't know what she's playing at. She wouldn't tell me.
I think she's been trying to be me for a while now. I don't know why.
Yeah, half the time I wouldn't know why she does what she does. She's great. Like, I think you could get on with her if you got to know her. She's just a bit, you know.
And I sort of blink a couple of times, and I'm not entirely sure how to process that.
And then, yeah, of course, I don't mean like all of you. I mean, I don't know.
Do you want to ask Gravedigger for that shovel to keep digging that hole? And I give him like a slightly playful smile. I'm trying to sort of move the conversation away from talking about Felicia.
He just laughs, kind of, at that. Well,
and then I sort of glance around and just go, do we need to stay out here, or?
yeah, I should stay out here. It's my party.
Fair enough.
And you're my guest here, right?
So it would seem.
And then we'll go see Lady Leocadia. Don't worry, they might talk the big talk, but they're not going to hurt you.
And inside my head, I think, yet. But I smile for him, and I nod. But I'm not feeling that hopeful.
Yet observes you, but doesn't. Like, you can see in his face as he's trying to guess how you're doing, but he can't quite figure that out. And then he just says, "Right, come on up. You must be hungry. You should eat something."
And then I turn back and glance back at the scene behind me.
Come on, come on. We have some blood here. What do you like?
I'm going to be honest, it's mostly been whatever's available. I sort of follow after him, I suppose, if he's heading in that direction.
Let's see what's available. Come on. We'll pick you something good. Relax, it's my party. Have a drink and then we'll dance.
Oh, God. Internally feeling some trepidation, but don't want to show that. Everyone already thinks I'm weak enough as it is.
Roll your self-control and subterfuge again.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 successes.
Yeah, you're managing to keep just pretty motionless face as he leads you towards some of the people who, some of them are crying, some you think are already dead, but people still keep drinking from them.
Okay.
And you start walking in that direction. But we'll come back to that. Janina. You arrive at the hospital and head down. Do you want to head down to the lab, or do you want to do something else?
I think we'll
Yeah.
go to the lab and start working.
So you go to the lab, you start working. You see there is some more jars of blood in the fridge. They are all marked with the number of the solution that was used or the short description. You also see there is a piece of paper put up clearly as an instruction to Hannah, and that is to which number to give to which of the types of the solution. And they all have a date, the jars of blood on them as well, so you know when they were stored. And Magda asks Hannah, well, Hannah, shall we get some more? And Hannah just nods her head, and she goes to the morgue and brings in a body of an older man looking a bit malnourished, who presumably wasn't dead for very long. And she starts working to get some of the blood out, Hannah, looking to you from time to time as if to show you how well she's doing.
I'm gonna give her like smiles and let's like look at her like a proud parent.
And Magda is observing as well, looking much more like a teacher as she
Yeah,
is
I was about to
observing.
say.
But she also looks to you and asks, Janina, are you still hungry? Are you hurt? There is enough here for you.
I'm not hungry, but I guess I should really heal myself because I'm still hurt.
You should.
I will. Thank you for looking.
And she gestured towards the fridge with all the samples and goes back to observing Hannah.
Okay, then I'll go to the fridge and take the kursi sample. And I take a few, 1 or 2 jars.
So one will give you 2 blood points.
Okay.
Do you want to heal your remaining damage?
Yes. How much do I need?
It is 5 blood.
Okay.
So you could use up, you could just use the blood that you have here and not spend any if you wanted to use like 3 jars.
How many jars are there?
6 right now.
Okay, then I will use.
And Hannah is getting some more blood.
Okay, so I don't have to subtract anything from my blood?
No, you actually get 1 more.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Living the life.
And you feel better. And you feel the wound that you had from your fight with Zimowit completely gone now.
Okay, so I don't have any.
You don't have any wounds now.
Yay. Good. I feel good, at least like physically. I always forget how, because I get used to the pain and like because I always takes such a long time to heal wounds, and when they're gone, it's always like such a relief that my body doesn't feel in pain, and that's like a new feeling again.
And you see, like Hannah is placing blood in another jar and then looking into another fridge with all the solutions there, and starting to mix it in clearly looking to you, and she seems almost nervous because you're here, and like triple checking everything that she's doing.
I think it's cute, and I just like smile genuinely.
But then she gets another jar and labels it and puts it in the fridge,
Mm.
and continues her work.
I'll come to her as she's like continue working, and I placed my hand on her shoulder and I pat her. You're doing so good. I'm so proud of you.
She smiles and says, "Thank you."
Not bad for a countryside girl.
No. And she goes all red when you're saying that.
Oh no.
And she continues working.
And I keep watching her.
And you spend some time like that. And not long after, as Hannah is still extracting blood from this body, you hear footsteps and knocking.
I turn around.
And you see Mr. Potocki is standing there.
That's not a big surprise. He works
No.
there.
It's Shimovid. No.
This would be a shocker.
Mr. Potocki comes in and gives you all a smile. Good evening, Magdalena, Hanna, Janina. I haven't seen you here in a while.
I'm sorry. I've been quite busy. But I'm here today.
Well, I see Hanna has everything under control. Do you have a moment to chat?
Yes, of course. And I follow him, I guess, to his office.
He doesn't even take you to the office. He just sort of walks along the corridor or somewhere with you. Not necessarily far away, more like so that you're not standing over Hannah and Magda.
Okay.
And just asks, so how have you been?
Where's the last time I've talked to him? Was
Ages ago.
Yeah, okay. Then I'm gonna just like shrug. Things happened. A lot of bad things happened. My sire, he's gone.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
Thank you. It's just grief all over.
Seems to be the theme of recent years.
It really is.
But you are doing good work here.
I'm trying, and the gods are very helpful.
I didn't know your sire, but I know Mr. Ray would be proud, and I'm sure your sire would be proud too.
Thank you so much. I miss Sigmund. I know you miss him too, and I miss Daniel, my sire. They were good people. How have you been? Is everything okay? Do you need my blood?
And you see certain hesitation in him. And then almost like he calculates something. And then he says, I was hoping to ask you for that, yes.
Side note, like a period tracker, but Vita tracker. Yes, and I just give him a comforting smile. Of course, we can go to your office and I will give you as much as you need. I want you to feel good.
Let's go then.
And I follow him.
And on the way, he just asks, but how are you in terms of taking care of yourself, settling in?
I think I'm doing fine, I guess. Well, with everything. I'm trying to concentrate on work and I'm taking care of Hannah and take care of the remaining people in my life that I care about, that you are part of.
You should take care of yourself. For Hannah, I think coming here is good for her. She
Yes.
was intimidated at first and still can be, but I think having a task to do helps her.
I think so. I think she's doing good, but I know she's nervous at the hotel around others of my kind that she isn't familiar with. So here, I guess she feels more safe.
She is young and not used to her new condition either.
I know. I'm glad that I can leave her here and know that she's in good hands with you. And
I will do what I can to help her prosper. And you get to his office and he lets you in.
I'll sit on his desk and just like roll my sleeve.
He looks at your hand and then at you almost as if unsure. And then he reaches to something and he takes out like a scalpel and slices your wrist with a scalpel.
Well, I give him a comforting
and
look.
drinks.
And I let him.
And he takes 1 blood point from you.
Aww, he's so polite.
It's only you who drains. Well, not only. But
yeah, not
not
only.
only.
I'm not the worst.
Yeah, give me a minute. I'll get there.
Yeah. And he loses himself in it for a moment and then comes to and looks to you and says, "Thank you."
Oh, of course. It's the least I can do for you. And I want you to prosper too. And I cover my wrist again.
I appreciate your help, Janina.
Of course.
And whatever I can do to help you.
I just hope we all can help each other and just go on with our lives and do them, make them as best as we can.
Yes, I hope so.
How are things with you? Personal things?
It's all right. I'm, teaching the young generation of doctors. Half of them are idiots. The other half might maybe amount to something.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that the few of them will make it.
No, I'm sure many will. I'm getting... Oh. Don't listen to me. I am a cranky old man sometimes.
Well, I enjoy listening to cranky old men.
Well, you're a strange one, aren't you?
I've been told.
And then he looks more serious for a moment. You're, I can see, a good person at heart, Janina. Don't lose it.
I'm trying really hard.
And, I don't know much about the intricacies of your society. I've heard a thing or two. I know Mr. Ray had plans. I know he spoke to people within your organization. We can take care of day-to-day workings at the lab, but you need to start thinking how to secure it within whatever you need it for, not to lose his vision in it.
You're right. I'll probably have to visit his former haven and look for some of his writings and books and stuff like that.
I don't know if he would have written it down. I think you need to. And he kind of leans back and sits down. Listen, Janina, it's like this. If I need resources for my hospital and for my hospital to prosper, I don't go looking at books to find out what exactly I need. I go to someone in the local political office to ask them for it and make the case why our hospital is doing a great work and why we need to receive more of the supplies. And everyone else is doing the same, and I need to make us sound better than all the others. Now, I don't know if you have competition for resources, but from what I can gather, you have competition for blood. What I'm trying to say is you need to talk to people and figure out how what you're doing fits in with your people so that you are in control.
Sorry, I'm not as smart as Janina, so
Roll your wits and politics.
okay. I don't have politics.
Roll your wits with difficulty 7.
1 success.
Well, what he's getting at,
Okay.
he doesn't know the specifics, but Zygmunt was quite influential with the prince. And he could do whatever he wanted with this project and make sure that it was run as he, Zygmunt, wanted. And you know that there's other people in Camarilla who could use the blood, pretty much anyone. And not everyone will necessarily want to use what you're doing to avoid feeding from people and existing more peacefully with mortals and causing less harm. Some people might want to capitalize on what you're doing, possibly get it away from you or use you somehow. And instead of realizing Zygmunt's ideals, try to turn it to their goals.
You mean Magda and her friends?
Possibly. That is one possibility. I think Janina would have that thought because people have said that.
Well, yeah, I'm sure the Tremere she is wary of. Okay, but thank you for explaining.
No worries. No worries.
I'm just not really good at this stuff, so
that's fair. Mr. Potocki also doesn't know all the specifics, but that's what Janina could figure out.
He just walks from one side to the other. Just
wants to be on camera.
He wants to go out. He wants to go out, and he's being annoying. Okay.
So you realize that from what he's saying.
I'll nod and I'll say, okay. I'll think about that. I'm just not really good at speaking with people on official matters, but I'll try. I'll try to figure something out.
I trust in you, Janina.
I hope I won't disappoint.
Well, I think I will be heading home. It is quite late for me.
You need to sleep.
Yes.
Take care of yourself too.
Have morning lectures tomorrow.
Okay. Do you live alone?
Yes.
Okay. Then enjoy your peaceful evening.
Take care of yourself.
I will. And I just let him leave and I go back to the girls.
You start heading back. Are you thinking about what he said? Do you have any other thoughts?
Yes, I know that what he's saying is something I should be thinking about. But it's really hard for me because I'm not comfortable speaking with like more highly. Bless you.
Thank you.
More highly social kindred. I think I might ask Anthony because he would know who would be the best to talk, and I know he is a good person as far as I know, so I trust him, and he's with Bea, so.
So with those thoughts, you return to find Magda and Hannah, who brought in another body from the morgue. And now Magda is helping to move the work along. And they're working. And I'm assuming you join them there.
Yes.
And you spend some time there. And I think this is a good time to take a short break.
Yes.
We will
really
be back. We will be back in about 15 minutes. So please stay with us, and we'll see you then after the break. Thank you.
Bye.
See you. And welcome back. Hello once again. Thank you so much for staying with us to continue the story of Bea and Janina. And let's go straight to Bea, who is with her friend, maybe acquaintance, enemy,
Besties.
So Bea, Arek leads you past a bonfire towards where you see some people on the ground. You walk past a body of a young man who doesn't move anymore. You see there's bloodied wounds all over his body, and his legs appear to be broken in several places. Eric sort of considers, but then just shakes his head. No, come on. And then leads you a bit further, and you see there, chained to the wall, curled up almost in a corner, there is a woman in a suit jacket and a skirt. Her skirt and her jacket are dirty now. Her tights are torn completely. And with her is a young, maybe 10-year-old boy. And she's hugging him and trying to get him to not look, and he's crying. And Arek looks to you.
I look back to him.
You must be hungry, come on.
I look back to the woman and the boy. And I sort of take a moment to sort of observe them. Observe the woman holding him.
You're observing. And as you're doing that, you see that the woman is looking at you absolutely terrified. And then she looks away. And she's shaking. And you hear footsteps, and you see that Florian comes up to you with this mocking smile on his face, looks to you, and then leans into Arek. And just asks, Why do you bother? And Arek ignores him completely and looks to you. Bea, what's wrong?
I turn back to the woman and I kneel down next to her, very close. Does she react in any way, or does she just keep looking away?
She tries to move away from you.
And I don't really want to drink from her, but I'm also, the words that Nastia said to me, the words that no one else outside of RX seems to think that I am worth being here. And my own words from earlier of I can't go back.
And Arek is encouraging you. Come on, Bea. Oh,
I lean forward, and I think, I should probably roll self-control to touch her.
Well, you normally don't have to.
Okay,
Like,
fair enough.
it's more for people touching you, and whether whether it's not exactly like that sort of physical closeness.
That's fair enough. In which case, I kind of put my hand around the back of her head.
She tries to move away. She tries to struggle, tries to kick you with the chains. She's not able to move that much.
And I lean in and sink my teeth into her neck.
How much blood do you have right now?
6.
Then roll your self-control. Difficulty 6.
That's a botch.
So, you sink your fangs into her neck, and you taste her vita. And it tastes so good. And you lose yourself in it completely. And you drink, and you drink. And finally, you come to. And you see in front of you. You hear, first of all, crying, the painful wailing of a child. And then you see the woman lying in front of you, pale, with a bloodied wound on her neck when part of her neck was ripped as you bit into her to drink more. Her face completely pale, her lips have turned blue, and she's lying there motionless. And please, roll your conscience. Difficulty is 8.
Oh, it's going well. Oh, that's another botch. Jesus Christ.
Well, you don't really feel much at all. But you are gonna get another derangement, which we will talk about.
Gotta catch them all, I guess.
So lose a point of humanity.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What are you at now? 4?
I will be at 4 whenever I can find the pencil. So I'll do that later.
So you don't really feel much at all. And you hear somewhere there, Arek saying, like, see, she's fine. She's one of us now. And you hear Florian just give this short laugh. Yes, she drank like she was told to, without a will of her own. A model pawn of the elders. And you hear Arek just say, come on, man. Like, what do you want from her? She's been here like a day. And then Florian just shakes his head, looking really unconvinced. Suit yourself, but what do you think the Zimishi will do with her insert a spine into her back. Come on. And he just turns and walks away.
I'm kind of like I'm hearing what he's saying, but I'm not really paying attention to it. I'm looking at the crying child.
And you don't feel a thing. It's almost like you don't care.
Okay.
Like it's not, because, yeah.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
But they are crying and they're making quite a lot of noise. So I kneel down in front of him and I say, look at me.
What's running through your head as you're doing this? Why are you doing this?
Almost on instinct. Not for any strong feeling.
And
just,
what is driving
right.
the instinct in Bea?
Driving the instinct is this sort of feeling of that as a child, and they don't currently have someone with them telling them what to do. So I'm going to do.
What are you doing?
Well, first of all, I tell him to look at me. And if he doesn't look, then I will turn his face to look at me.
Are you using dominate? Because he will just look for the power of it, if that's what you intend to do.
If he won't turn his face to me,
Yeah.
then yes,
Yeah.
I will.
Okay, right. Well, he turns to you. You turn his face towards you.
And then I just shush him. And I'd like to use passion to dampen his emotions.
Then roll your charisma and empathy with difficulty 8.
Charisma and empathy, difficulty 8. Three successes.
So the boy looks to you and he starts being quiet and just turns very numb and curls up a bit.
And I just sort of say quietly, good luck. And then I stand up and turn back to Arik.
Arik kind of looking at you, looking past Florian.
And I kind of just sort of wipe my mouth a bit as I'm turning away. You said there was dancing?
Yeah, come on. And he extends his hand.
I'll roll a self-control check now.
Yes, now you have to roll self-control.
Yeah. What's my difficulty with him again? Was it 8?
Yeah.
Okay, 2 successes then.
Then you can take his hand.
I will do so, and I will join him dancing.
And he starts leading you in a dance, which involves throwing you over a fire at some point.
I've done this once before.
You have done this once before.
I have.
But roll, please, your courage.
Right.
With difficulty 8.
I have an 8 and a 10, so 2
You
successes.
can do that, yeah.
So, yeah, I think the steps almost sort of come back to me in some ways, although I didn't like get into the swing of it really last time. It was very much I'm dodging through them rather than proper dancing. But there is an exhilaration to it, and there is a rush, especially once you land on the other side. And so at first I'm maybe like a little bit almost like thinking too much about it, and then sort of after the first leap through the flames, there's then more of a smile on my face, and I sort of turn to look at him again.
And he's dancing with you, smiling. And then like, so you're doing really well. Don't care about Florian. He'll come around.
And I just laugh. I don't want to argue with him, but I'm taking a moment to enjoy myself now that it's not hurting.
And you are enjoying yourself. Meanwhile, Janina, you're working in the lab. And at some point, it starts getting a bit late.
Okay, I ask Magda and Hannah if they want to stay working or if they want to head back to the hotel. Because
Magda checks the time as well. I probably should head back with you.
Yes. What about you, Hannah?
I can stay a bit more.
Is it okay for you to walk home alone?
I'll walk in the morning.
Okay, that's good. But don't forget to eat and drink.
I'll get something that's less expensive than this hotel.
Okay, good. Then I guess we'll say goodbye, and me and Magda are heading back to the hotel.
You are, and as you're walking, Magda is at first quiet, but then she says, she's really adjusting. Hannah.
Yes, she is. I think she's more comfortable with work than being at the hotel.
I suppose it's natural.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I've never been in her exact situation.
She's fairly perceptive. So she notices how things are, possibly more than you realize.
Well, I'm glad that you two seem to get along.
Well, as am I. She's not in any danger at the hotel. But I can imagine, knowing there's a lot of people like us, there is unsettling.
Yes, that's what I think bothers her. She's fine with those that she's already met, and she, like you, or others that I already introduced her to. I'm sure she'll come around once she get used to all the faces.
She will adjust.
Yes. How have you been?
Coping. I've been working at the lab when I could.
Yeah.
I get on with my sire a bit better now, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that.
Things have changed. In many ways, there's more of my clan here now. We're not. When we were on a run, I think. I know my sire might not appear so, but he was very stressed.
I imagine that he was stressed because he had the responsibility for you, Joachim, and I forgot
Conrad.
the other Conrad. I want to say the other guy.
The other guy, yeah. No, Janina would remember.
Yeah, you know, I remember. So I'm sure that things are better for you now, and you're safe. Don't tell, as safe as we can be.
She gives a bit of a smile. Well, we're working on making it safer. All of us in our own ways.
That's true. I try to look at her and see how she's feeling when she's talking about her sire.
Oh, perception and empathy.
No, I'm not rolling well. It's a botch.
It's a botch. Oh god, you have
Join
no.
me in the many botches.
Yes, there's many botches tonight
Yeah.
in general. You
I
have
already
no
had
clue.
two. and
She
I also had
seems friendly in this manner you can't read at all.
Okay, well, in that case, I just continue to small talk. I'm sorry.
No, she says as you're approaching Hotel Bristol, it was good to work alongside you for a bit.
Oh,
I think
enjoyed
we
it.
can learn from each other.
Oh, I can definitely learn from you.
We have slightly different skill sets.
Mm. Yes, but you're amazing. Mm.
I'm really not.
I wish I was that smart.
She just then shakes her head. Janina, please, you are smart. You're doing yourself a disservice, tucking yourself down.
Mm.
You
I
know,
think
I will just tell you not to, but no one in this. You need to tuck yourself up. That's how things are.
right. Well, thank you for keeping me company and keeping me safe.
Of course.
Um,
I will see you soon.
yes, we'll talk tomorrow, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Have a good rest. You deserve it.
You too.
And I guess we part ways.
You part ways, and
I-
she goes to the place where she's staying. And what about you?
I'll go to my room, I guess. If it's late, I'm going.
I mean, it's fairly late. You wanted to see Dominique.
Oh,
Are you
yes.
gonna do that tonight, or do you want to do this the next night?
How much time do I have before it's
There's still time to
appropriate?
go see him and have a conversation.
Okay, then
It's
I
not
will.
like you have to
Yeah,
go to sleep
okay.
right now. But if you stayed much longer at the hospital, it would be getting to
Yeah, okay.
Close to sunrise. Come back.
Okay, well, in that case, I'm gonna go visit Dominique.
Then you go to visit Dominique. Meanwhile, there you are dancing with Arek for a bit. But then you see at some point, see Florian take out a chalice, and people start gathering around. Some of them are going, yeah. You see Gravedigger come up to you, put his hand on Arek's shoulder, and say, come on, let's get you properly back with us. And he starts leading Arek away from you, almost tearing him from you, as he looks back and he just mouths, just a moment.
Hello.
And you see people gather around Florian, who raises a chalice. All of them do, but you see that Felicia is standing a bit to the side, like you are. You see her encourage Irmina to go forward.
I find myself staring at Felicia.
And she's very clearly not looking at you. Almost like sometimes her eyes almost want to go towards you, and she forces herself not to turn her head. And you hear Florian's voice saying, "This is a joyous night, for tonight we welcome our brother who has been held captive by the cowards of the Camarilla, who were too weak even to kill him, clearly planning to use him in some pathetic trick to get at us. But he is back with us, ready to bring them down. And that is what matters, my brothers and sisters. That is what matters. And whatever trick they put together in their weak, fearful minds, it will be torn to shreds by our strength." And people are clapping and going, "Ooh, yeah!" And Florian cuts his wrist and pours some blood into the chalice and passes it on to the red-haired woman, who does the same. And everyone does it, one by one, including Arek, including Irmina, including Casper, except you and Felicia. How are you feeling?
Alone. Very much on the outside. My gaze keeps going back to Felicia and seeing that she's on the outside as well. And there's part of me that really wants to approach her, but she doesn't want to look at me. So I worry that if I approach her, that would hurt her or upset her, and I don't want to do that.
And as people are drinking from the chalice one by one, you see something in Felicia's face, and she turns to you and she starts walking towards you. With a quite decisive, fast step. And she stands in front of you.
Okay.
"Why are you wearing my daughter's face?"
Because she's wearing mine.
She looks to you. "You make no sense, girl."
Or maybe you don't want me to make sense.
"You are not my daughter. You will never be my daughter. I know. A mother knows her child. In her heart."
Does she?
"You're a trick. You don't even know it."
And I'm just breaking on the inside.
"Do you know what the Voivod wants to do with you?"
No.
And she looks to you, considering something, and you see that she's thinking and trying to get through some confused thoughts in her mind. But you see this distress on her face. "You are not right."
And I'm blinking hard, trying to hold back the tears. Because everything she's saying is hurting me so much.
And then she looks to you and says, "Oh, don't go crying, girl. I'm sure there's someone who cares for you as much as I care for my daughter." "It won't do to cry here. It's not that kind of place."
If you can't stand to look at me, then why do you keep standing in front of me?
Well, there's no way to speak to an older lady. And she looks to you. Well, my daughter would never be so impolite. And she just walks around you and walks away from you.
And I'm angry. And I'm hurt. And I kind of want to lash out at something. I'm going to try and compose myself. At least my face, anyway.
Roll your self-control and subterfuge with difficulty 7 because it's your blood bond and all that.
The blood bond be blood bonding.
I'm sorry, roll just your self-control. Like, yeah, to see.
I will just start again then.
Yeah, to see how you're doing. You're not trying to necessarily hide it from a specific person. It just.
Oh, hello. 3 successes.
So you manage to hold your composure. But what's going on the inside?
I'm angry. And I'm hurt. And there's a part of me that's resentful. There's quite a large part of me that's resentful. You left me and then say that I'm not your daughter. And then there's another part of me that thinks back about how I could be anyone else. And I hope that's true, because I don't want to continue doing this. I don't want to. Well, I suppose it depends on whether I survive long enough for this to continue to be a thing, but, you know, I don't want to have that pain and that argument and that feeling every time I see her. I want to forget. I want to be someone new.
And you're thinking about that feeling that you wanted to forget. And we will come back to you. Janina, you go to see Dominic.
Yes. I'll knock on his door.
At first there's nothing, and then sudden movement. And then you hear his voice saying, "Who is it?"
It's me, Janina.
Janina, all right. And he comes up to the door and you hear the lock opening. Lucian said you might stop by.
Yes, I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
No, come on in. And you see, as you enter, that he is in his Nosferatu now. You see his pale, very dry skin and the protruding dark veins around his body where he's not, wearing clothing. And you see his eyes look really big now, that his eyelids and eye sockets seem to have kind of retracted. And the left side of his mouth is completely paralyzed, and he has 2 thin, very bendy fingers, almost too bendy. And he looks to you, he looks at himself, and he almost tries to cover instinctively some of his appearance.
I just give him a smile and lean for a hug. You don't have to apologize. It's good to see you, and I just embrace him.
And he gives you a hug. It's good to see you. It's good to see you, Janina.
It's good to see you too. And I hold him in an embrace for a bit. And then I let go and I just say, how have you been?
Oh, Janina, I don't know what to do. Where's Bea?
She's away for now, but I hope she's going to come back. She's on
I need her
a
help.
mission. What do you need from her? Well,
She made this feeling go away for a moment.
I'm trying to think if I know someone else who could do that for him.
Another Malkavian you know is Rahela.
Okay. Yeah.
She's been not around that much recently.
Yeah, I know. She's busy. Okay. You have to hold on. Bea's not here, and I'm not sure when is she coming back. It might be tomorrow. It might be in a few days. It might be never.
But what never? What's happening?
She's on a mission, but it's like.
Well, she might not come back.
Well, that's the
perception and empathy.
Why did I worry him? Why did I say that? Oh no successes.
Okay, then you don't really see much except like agitation on his face.
Yeah, okay. I just like I'm sorry. It's just I'm sure she will come back. It's just that she's not around right now. She's on a mission. And anything can happen. You know how things are. I don't know the specifics of what exactly she's doing. And I know she's with the Sabbat, but I don't want to mention that to him.
You see Dominic just kind of like raise his hands to his face, hide it for a moment. I don't know what to do, Janina. I'm sorry. I'm just not well at the moment.
Oh, it's okay. I place my hand on his shoulder and just you need to distract yourself from you can't just be here alone sitting and just
I don't want to
ruminating.
Go out. Look at me.
There's nothing wrong with you.
Where would I go?
You could teach me how to dance.
I haven't really danced much.
Well,
not recently.
I know, but that's another reason why you should. And I would love that. I think it could be good for you to get back to your hobbies.
Roll charisma and persuasion. With difficulty 7, because he trusts you.
Okay, just let me find 5 persuasion. Okay. 2, 7, and 10, so 3 successes.
3 successes. So he like says for a moment, maybe I can teach you something.
We could have a good time. We both need some distraction.
Janina, I can't get distracted from this. I see her in my dreams. I see her in my thoughts.
I'm sorry.
I love Lucian so much, and I know he's hurting. But I feel like my heart belongs to another, like it was stolen.
But, well, You have to pull through.
I don't know
take
if I
time.
can take it anymore.
Well, you have to. You don't. She.
But I do, Janina, I really do. That's what you don't get. Everything in me misses her. Like more than anyone else right now.
But it's not natural. It's not
What
because
is natural? It's love.
I don't think so, but I'm not gonna invalidate your feelings, but
I don't want to feel that way.
then push through. You have to push through. What did she do to you to make you feel this way? Is it just that you drank her blood?
I did, but what she gave me, she can make me look like me again. She can give me the feeling of being myself. For the first time since the bastard did this to me. And I know it's a bad idea. And I know she's a monster. But I can't stop thinking about it.
I can't say I understand, but I've never been in the same situation as you. But
well, I hope you will never be.
I'm sorry you don't feel. I mean, I understand why you don't feel happy with your current state and you don't feel like yourself, but maybe this is new you and the old Dominic is gone. It would be fake. You would never be, even if she remade you. You wouldn't be the same.
I'm trying, Janina, but I don't know how long I can take it. And can I ask you something?
Yes, of course. We're friends.
If I don't manage, don't let Lucian destroy his life. Please.
I'll try, but I know from personal experience that when you love someone, you'll do anything for them and you won't care.
I know, I see it in his face.
So just please keep trying. I think it's gonna pass. It's not gonna be forever. You won't feel like this forever. It will pass.
I'll try.
Would it help if you drank more of Lucian's blood?
I did, but we've always drank each other's Vita.
Would it help if she wasn't around anymore?
Let me. Actually,
casual frenzy check.
It's not that, but he looks to you and says, for a moment, his eyes look very focused and very cold, almost like, but cold and kind of in this sort of breaking through something way. And he says, yes, it would.
Okay, then we have to make sure to destroy the Sabbath, and then you'll be back to yourself. Just hold on. I'm sure it won't be forever.
And he looks really sad as you're saying it and says, but I don't think you or Lucian can destroy her.
Well, you think, but I already just almost destroyed someone like her.
The best phrasing. He looks to you and says, I envy your optimism, Janina.
You have to have something, to keep you going.
Please, whatever happens, don't let Lucian die for nothing.
I won't. I'll try to keep him safe. But as much as I promise you that, and I want you to promise me you'll keep trying. Just hold on. Just give us, and I don't mean just me and Lucian, I mean the Camarilla, time to deal with the spot.
I'll do what I can.
Let's just dance. Let's just have dancing lectures.
Well, let me show you a few things now.
Okay.
And he does show you some basic ballet steps, and it's hard.
Oh, I'm sure I'm gonna make him laugh with my clumsiness.
And he, it's not that he is, enjoying being with you, you think, but part of his thoughts is occupied with darker things, and he's somewhat distracted from it, but not fully. But you spend some time with him like that until you start getting very sleepy.
After that, I'm gonna just give him another hug and kiss him on the cheek and tell him that we'll make it through, and that I love him and that Lucian loves him too. And
please remember what I asked.
I will. I promise I will remember that. You promise. You remember your promise too.
I am trying.
I'll check on you tomorrow again.
Thank you.
Don't think that this was everything you taught me.
He smiles at that, clearly amused by it. Thank you.
And have a good night. And
I better find Lucian now.
Okay. And I hug him again and just go to my room and get ready for bed.
And you do that. And what's on your mind, first of all, when you fall asleep?
I really want to destroy the Sabbath because I'm tired of it taking people from us.
Fair and valid.
And I just wish I want to talk with Lucian about it. Like, I don't want me and him to go on a mission to kill the woman. I forgot her name, but
Lady Leocadia.
Lady Leocadia. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it will give Lucian some hope that if we kill her, Dominic will return to himself. Yeah, but about Bea, who she is currently at the Sabbath, and I worry for her, and part of me worries that she's gonna be like Dominic, and then she's gonna come back, but she will want to go back to the Sabbath. And I wish I could visit her like she did with Anthony, because I'm worried.
And with worries and lots of thoughts on Sabbath, you fall asleep. but sometime earlier in the night, because we're doing asynchronous stories now, because that's the only way it can work. There, you are left on your own. You hear laughter and shouts and clapping and steps as people jump over bonfires around you. And you still hear some moans and cries from the victims, but they quieten as all people seem to be dead. You're aware of somewhere there, the red-haired woman inviting Nastya and Anita to both join her in a dance. And they're generally sticking together and dancing together. You see Gravedigger talking to Arek and pointing to some of the younger Sabbath members. You see Janko tear a head of one of the bodies and throw it with all his strength in one of the younger Sabbath, and it knocks him over. But then he laughs and throws the head back, and they're kind of playing catch while trying to hit each other with it.
Dodgeball combined with catch.
Yes. No one's really dodging, though.
No.
And you're sitting there on your own. What's in your head? Are you doing anything?
I think I'm sort of sitting there, just considering whether I should wear someone else's face for a while. I sort of glance over at the woman that I drank from earlier. I guess I put on her face for the moment. It'll do for now.
Well, then roll your. Let me just check. Manipulation and performance. Difficulty 7, and spend a blood point. Oh, actually, don't spend a blood point. Sorry, that's per level of appearance.
Yeah.
I just have an exclamation mark for like. Blood.
He's about gaining a child.
Maybe. Give me 5 minutes. What's my difficulty on this? Is it just?
It's 7.
7. Oh, okay, then 5 successes.
You look exactly like her.
And I just kind of sit and watch the flames whilst wearing her face.
Sit there watching her face.
Mm-hmm.
You see Danka, the Nosferatu, come up to you, eyeing you kind of curiously.
And I sort of tilt my head back at her.
She looks to you, then she kind of almost remembers something and goes to where the woman's body is, looks at it, looks at you, laughs, like genuinely joyous laughter.
I smile.
And she comes up to you, pointing. That's good. That's great. That's really funny.
Thank you. Seemed appropriate.
Careful someone doesn't confuse you with her. And then she kind of goes like, almost as if she was to grab you and bite into your neck. And she does actually grab you. Do you try to...
I pull my knife out and just hold it at her throat.
Well, let's roll initiative.
Okay. Oh, shit.
You can't just hold a knife.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. I forgot about mechanics for a moment.
Yeah. That's wits. Going to be your wits and alertness with difficulty 6.
Okay. 4 successes.
Then you do actually act at the same time.
Okay.
So, what is your intention?
To hold the knife so that if she comes too close to me, she will just impale herself on it.
All right, so you're gonna be using your action to do that.
Yes.
And she's gonna grab you.
Okay.
She So she comes back to you, grabs you. She actually does impale herself just on
Okay.
your knife, and then pushes you to the ground.
Okay.
What are you intending to do?
I guess sort of like try to roll out from under her so she can't like pin me there.
That's going to be an opposed strength and roll if you
Oh,
want
dear.
to get out free.
Oh dear. I have a question.
Yeah.
Earlier when I drained the woman, how much blood did I get from that?
Well, you have full blood pool.
Cool. In which case, can I spend blood to increase my strength?
1 blood point, yes.
Yep. That's fine. Heck, it was strength and brawl, was it? So just strength
Yeah.
from me. You know what? I'm going to spend a willpower.
Yeah, go for it.
That is 3 successes.
Well, that is 5 successes here.
Oops.
So you can't really move.
Okay.
And she holds you there and almost like you feel her teeth on your neck. And then she just laughs and moves away, like
Okay.
pulling your knife from her neck.
Fair enough. And I'll sit up and I'll
And kind
smile
of
back
throwing
at her.
it not away, but just in
Yeah.
the ground.
Fair enough.
I'll
Smile back
that
at her.
will not stop anybody here.
Probably not.
Good effort.
Thanks. How long have you been here?
Oh, a while. Short while, but a while. Enough.
Certainly longer than me.
Yeah. How are you finding it?
Lively.
That's a way to put it. Not quite the luxurious place you're used to.
That's all right.
So what is like being there, serving the elders?
Cold. It's like walking on eggshells constantly.
As you're saying this, what kind of memories are you reaching for?
I think when she sort of says,
Is it
like,
just a vibe?
it's partially. I think it's mostly like a vibe. Yeah. I think I'm kind of like seeing the Room of Elysium, or like a vague
I'm
echo.
curious if it like brings out something.
I think it probably does bring some things. I think the first thing, like as I'm thinking about like being in Elysium and like serving the elders, my brain like oh my god. Words would be really helpful right now. Mikhail.
Okay.
In Elysium, and the kind of the hushed discussions, the being cautious as to what you say, where you say it, feeling like I have a role to play rather than being myself. But then I also think of Antoni. I sort of paused for a moment, but then I sort of shake myself too and look back to him.
Danka saying, well, around here, if you see an eggshell, you crush it into the dirt.
I'll keep note if I see any eggshells.
So, is it really... You know, I've never been. I know you and Arek have been in the Camarilla. I haven't. So, how far does it go? What would you like not do if an elder asked you when you were there?
It depends, I guess. You have to work out why they're asking it of you and whether it's genuinely what the sect wants or if it's what they want.
It's always what they want, and someone far above them, the ancients who act through them. They are doing somebody else's will.
The ancients?
Well, at least that's what Florian says. That you all serve them, and you don't even know it.
Well, then I can't say I've heard of it, so clearly not.
Oh no, they wouldn't have told you. Well, now you know.
Now I know.
Well, I can't explain it very well, you know. He's
Oh.
very... the way he talks. Lots of Latin, lots of... I sometimes don't know what he's on about, but... I know. I think I prefer it here.
Everyone feels close here. You don't get that in the Camarilla.
Well, we are close. If you can take, you know, that kind of fun.
I'll work on it.
She looks to you for a moment. I think you're all right.
Thanks. I think you're all right.
Of course, I'm Sabat.
Thanks.
Take care.
I'll do my best. You too.
And she looks at you again and towards that body. And she kind of, again, laughs to herself. And then pulls Janko and Arek and starts telling them. And you see she's pointing and pointing at you. And she's laughing like it's the best joke in the world. That
I'll
you
wink at
in
her.
That woman's face. You see
wink at her.
Janko kind of laugh as well. Arek looks to you a bit curiously. Clearly also amused, but maybe a bit concerned.
Fair enough. I can't imagine why.
But sometime in the future, Janina, you wake up. You remember in your dream you were with Nastya, and she was caressing your neck, kissing you very gently, holding you close, whispering that she loves you, that she wants to be with you always. And in your dream, you were saying the same. And you wake up with the memory of the dream and the closeness and the feeling that you don't want to be separated from her. That is there before all the memories come back.
I lie in my bed for a bit until I remember everything and I just feel upset again. Betrayed. That I trusted her and I would do anything for her, but not after what she did. Not only she didn't help Daniel, but she didn't let me kill Zhemovit.
Zhemovit, yeah.
I always have trouble in pronouncing their name. And so I just start to feel very angry and frustrated. I just squeeze the mattress of the bed with my hand.
And you squeeze it very hard. And then you hear a voice, Janina? With a bit of concern, and you hear Hannah.
Oh. And
And you realize when you squeeze the mattress, you almost like pressed it flat pretty much. There's a slight tear on it now.
I just like when I hear Hannah's voice and I just like turn, I calm down. I just, oh, Hannah, I'm sorry. I just.
What's going on? Is everything okay?
Everything's okay? I'm just. Sorry, I'm gonna retract to blood because I forgot.
Yes, you can do that, and you can regain a point of willpower as well.
Okay. For once, I remembered. And I just shake myself and smile. Everything's fine. I just had dreams and I woke up upset. Everything's fine now. I'm sorry, I forgot you were here.
No, that's all right. I came back during the day. I got some food. I had some sleep. Not enough, probably, but that's all right.
Is everything okay? Did no one bothered you in your way?
No.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
Had a bit of a stroll.
That sounds nice. I'll probably go for a stroll in a bit.
I might try to get some sleep. Or do you want me to do something?
No. Do whatever you want. Sleep. You must be so tired.
It's all right. I can get used to being awake at night and sleeping during the day. I just need some more practice.
Okay, then just relax and rest. And later in the night, if you wake up, you can decide what you want to do. If you want, maybe go with Magda back to the hospital or whatever.
I could do that.
I'm going out now.
A nap.
Okay. And I let you sleep, and I'll be around. I'm not going anywhere for now, so I'll be around, and I'll check on you in a few hours. Good night.
I'll see you soon.
Good night. I almost said sweetheart. Janina wouldn't, but I almost did.
And you leave her there. And where are you heading?
I'm going out. I'm gonna feed because I want to stay fed. I have 8 points.
No problem. That's a good practice. So you head out of the hotel and you just want to jump a person on the street, right?
Yes, as usual. I just go somewhere like a safe distance from the hotel.
Then roll your wits and alertness with difficulty 8.
No, I'm unlucky today. No success.
No success. So maybe it's still too early because there's quite a lot of people around as you're walking around and you're hoping to find a lonely person in, a dark alley. There just seems to be too many people everywhere walking past. Maybe if you try in a couple of hours, the city will be emptier and it will be easier.
Yeah.
But at the moment, you're struggling to locate someone who would be on their own.
In that case, I think I'm gonna go find some place. I will still be like outside. And I just, is there like a view of the river somewhere?
Yeah, you can go be by the river.
And I just like sit and just enjoy the solitude for a bit and just enjoy time away from the hotel, from other kindred, from Hannah, and just be with my thoughts.
And you're sitting there, and what are your thoughts in that moment?
I think it's about Nastya. and how mad I am. But I'm also like heartbroken. But I know, like, in my heart that I will not do the same mistake again, and I will not be with her anymore. Mainly because I just don't trust her anymore. I still love her, but I don't trust her, and I really don't want to be in the Sabbat. So before, like, I hoped that we could, like, either that she could get back somehow to Camarilla, or we would just run away and just start new life in another city. But if she made her choice, so it's over, and I'm just sad, and I'm thinking about Daniel and our last conversation and our first conversation when we met, and about Mara and fear of losing Bea, worries for Dominic, and I think I just gradually just go from to the worst, like worst stuff.
Yeah, so you're sitting there full of dark thoughts.
Yes.
Watching the dark water of the river and some of the ice that covers it right now. Its sharp edges, a bit of snow covering its surface. And we'll get back to you. There. It feels like Arik maybe wanted to go in your direction, but then someone else comes up to him, one of the younger Sabbats, kind of, hey, new boy, or whatever you are, come on. And like someone just throws like quite battered head at him. And Arik gets distracted and like jumps that guy, trying to pin him to the ground, and that starts going on.
I smile, sort of watching him settling back in, I guess. I'm glad to see him doing better. The head throwing is a little unusual, but I'm not going to give it too much more thought than that. So I think I just stay sitting there. I've picked my knife back up off the ground. I'm sort of twirling it between my fingers. Just looking around.
Looking at people dancing, jumping over bonfires. You see Florian is talking with Felicia now. And they're quite to the side, engaged in a conversation, quiet voices. And
sorry.
Sorry. Yeah.
Sorry.
You want to overhear?
If I could.
Yeah, sure. That will be your perception and alertness. Difficulty will be, well, how close do you want to come up?
I was just going to heighten my senses.
Yes,
but,
I know,
yeah,
but it's
just,
still,
I was just going to stay. I'm going to stay where I'm sitting. I'm not.
Well, I'm going to say difficulty 9 because they're like they are specifically walked away slightly.
Fair enough.
Further.
That's fine. I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything. I don't feel a strong need to approach Florian. A single success.
A single success. So you overhear a little bit. You're not hearing all the words, but you see. You hear Felicia saying that the bishop suggested that my next step in the journey might be Krakow. And then you don't hear Florian for a bit, but you hear him tell her, I am jealous of the things you will discover on your quest. And you will have friends in the Sabbat as you're uncovering the plots and the histories of the antediluvians. And then you don't really hear Felicia's answer, but you hear the name Estera. And you hear Florian say, I regret her journey was cut short, but that is how it had to be. She brought you to us to learn and spread the word. And then you say, Felicia, talking, I couldn't rest knowing there were greater mysteries to discover. And then you don't hear anymore.
And there's part of me that's already wanting to grab Felicia by the arm and tell her not to go. And there's another part of me that's like hurt and angry that just wonders that if it would be easier if she went to Krakow and I stayed here. I know she doesn't want me with her. I'm not her daughter, according to her. So I just... And I for a moment, I'm sort of caught up in the sort of horrible feelings inside of me. And then I've sort of scribbled it into my journal. And then I wonder what even the point is of it. So I close it. Then I just kind of look up at the stars and just start telling myself to just forget. To just forget this moment. And just be here. And pay attention to the stars.
And you focus on that for a while. And we'll go back to you. But in the future, Janina, you've sat there for a while. What do you intend to do next?
I want to wait like a few hours and then try hunting again.
All right, so you just wait the time until it will be time to hunt. All right, then you spend a few hours just sitting there. And then
maybe I'll just like walk again for a bit.
Wits and alertness again with difficulty 7.
Oh my god, 2 successes. Okay, I was worried.
All right.
It's 2 successes.
Then it is easier now. You walk a bit along the river and then turn into some of the more abandoned streets. And you come across a woman walking at a brisk pace, smoking a cigarette, carrying a bag of groceries, not really paying much attention to her surroundings, clearly preoccupied with something, maybe a bit nervous, maybe a bit lost in thought, a bit careless.
Okay, I will. I would prefer men, but I'm already like spent so much time So I'm going to go for it, and I'll sneak behind her.
Roll your stealth and dex, and you can add your celerity to it. Difficulty 6.
Okay. 2 successes.
2 successes. So you come up to her, and she is about to turn, like she heard something, but before she can manage it, you can grab her and bite into her neck.
Nom nom nom.
You're doing that. And how much do you take?
Just 2.
Just 2. So you feed. And do you leave her there in the street?
I will sit her somewhere like against the building, and if she drops any of her like stuff, I will pick it up and just put it back next to her.
Doing that, as you're picking up the groceries, you hear her coming to and groaning and clearly regaining consciousness.
I turn around and I just, oh, Mister, you, are you okay? You dropped all of your stuff.
Yeah, I don't, oh no, what happened? And she looks to you, and please roll your manipulation and subterfuge. Difficulty 6.
Do we spend a willpower or do we risk it?
I don't know. What do we do, Dolores?
We roll.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, and I shouldn't have.
What do you have?
Nothing.
Well, she has 3 successes. So she looks to you. It's like,
oh no, she's gonna.
What do you want? Do you want? What?
Oh no!
He stands up.
I just
stay away from me.
I'm sorry.
And she kind of looks like as if checking her pockets.
I just like I leave her stuff that I was like trying to
stay away from me, and she starts running away from you, leaving her stuff behind.
Oh no! And I'm just like, oh no! What stuff did she left?
Some food. Was it food? There's a bit of bread. There's a bit of like some meat, some cheese.
I'm thinking about bringing it to Hannah.
Well, you remember this woman was absolutely terrified when you think she thinks that you like mugged her.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I think. I figured. I think I just leave the stuff. I'm not gonna be a vulture more than I already was. I'm gonna leave the stuff before like she goes too far away from me. I just leave the stuff against the building and just I don't know if she turns around to see me, so maybe she would like. And I just
she's gone. She ran away. Well, she was turning like over to see if you're chasing her, but she kind of ran away.
Okay, I'm gonna go on the other side, to the other side that she went.
So you're just leaving. Yeah.
I will leave. Well, someone is gonna use it anyway. If she's not gonna come back for it. I was tempted, but I felt kind of bad. And then I imagine like Hannah would ask me and I would have to lie.
She is quite perceptive.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah, so
I'm going back to the hotel, but probably because I'm not sure like which way she went, but if I went the other way, it's probably like the further way. So I'm gonna go back to the hotel, but like the longer way.
Yeah, so you take a bit of a detour.
Yeah.
And as you're coming back, you see Zoya standing outside the hotel with her hands in her pockets, just kind of looking around. And she sees you.
Well,
and nods her head to you.
I nod and I come up to her. Unless she looks like she's waiting.
No, she looks almost like she's waiting.
Okay. Then I'm come up to her.
Janina, they told me you went out. You took your sweet time.
I'm sorry.
It's dangerous out there, didn't you hear? She says in this a bit mocking sort of voice, joyless and bitter.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you were waiting for me.
I hope to find you.
Is everything okay?
Janina, no, everything is fucked up.
Do you need any help?
She looks to you like, raises her eyebrows a bit, as if she can't believe what you're saying. And then she says, damn right, I need help. I need help to kill that fucking Zimishi and to kill that fucking Asamite.
Yes, well,
I heard you took him down.
Yes, I did. But
what happened? Talk me through the fight.
And I'll tell her, well, probably like not outside if we like go somewhere where I could like tell her all the details.
She'll walk around with you, like if you are hesitating.
I will tell her everything except the stuff that when I started to numb on it.
Right, so she like listens and then says, right, well, I guess that bitch couldn't be helped. At the time, I know what your problem is. And she opens her jacket and shows you a bayonet that she has there. And says,
okay,
you need
I was
to get
thinking
yourself
that she's
one
gonna
of
show
these.
me her boobs.
No, you're not that close. She's wearing a shirt underneath.
I know.
But she shows you a bayonet that she's there, and she says, you need one of these, Janina.
Okay.
Your hands, fist, that's good for a mortal, maybe for a ghoul. For the ones like us, doesn't do shit. You will work several times as hard to take the fucker down with your bare hands. You know, we're dead, so
I know.
You need to chop the one you want to destroy to pieces.
Yes, I know, you're right. I so wish I had something like that back then.
Well, I can get you one.
Yes, please. Please do.
I'll make sure you're prepared.
Thank you.
So, you want to do this, right?
Yes, of course I want. I want to avenge Zygmunt and Daniel.
I think I know who will reach out to you. And it's gonna be dodgy, but you need to say yes.
Who is it?
Well, you know, Glenshemir.
Okay.
They're fucking cunts. But if there's one thing you can count on, is that they will want to kill Azimishi.
Yes. So
I talked to Konstantin Steiner.
Do I know who this is?
You
Is
might
one of
vaguely you might not know exactly who it is, but you know there's like 3 new ones who arrived.
Yeah, and that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So gloomy.
Absolute sociopath if I've ever seen one. But I know he's serious about that.
All right. Fine. All right. Should I find them or?
Oh, I'm sure they'll find you.
Okay.
But if they don't, talk to me.
Okay. Are we going to do this together?
I want to be involved.
Okay.
They
Right.
killed so many of the people I care about.
I know.
And I'm going to see them go down. I'm done being careful at this point.
I know. We have to take them down.
I mean, I don't want to be stupid about it. And the Tremere, they will fuck us over if it suits their purpose. But we can count on their purpose being to kill some of our enemies.
All right, that makes sense. Well, you can count on me. I won't fuck you over.
And I won't fuck you over either.
Okay, good.
How are you holding up?
Not bad, I guess. Well, at least these past few nights. I've been doing work at the hospital yesterday. I keep to myself other than that. So worried about Bea, but other than that, I'm coping.
Yeah. Wish we could still keep to ourselves more.
Me too.
Sometimes I wonder if we will all end up dying for the Camarilla.
Well, can you hear me? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
your camera went for a bit.
Okay, because Gareth, he went
Okay.
down the desk and
Oh, wow, okay.
Sabotage.
he fiddled.
Yeah.
Yes, it was sabotage. Galen, nie chodź tam. Sorry. Tak, proszę. He just wants to purr and be here. Okay, well, I hope we don't, but if we do, I hope it's because we are taking down people that killed our friends, or protecting each other, or protecting our friends.
I'm willing to take a great risk for that.
Me too.
Isidore will be furious when he hears.
Yeah, well.
But they pulled him into. He's the primogen now.
Yes, he is.
He's one of the best people I knew. I worry that won't last.
Well, we'll see. Maybe.
I hope so.
Uklidni se, jo?
Right. Well.
Do you have any plans for tonight?
Not really. Checking what's going on. Isidore tells me more than he probably should.
You get all the Elysium primogen gossip.
Probably not all, but the stuff he's most pissed about. And the stuff he thinks I should know.
Well, that's good. It's good that he shares it with you. He's a good bean.
She kind of shakes her head. He's too good for this shit. I hope it won't break him.
I hope not. But all right, I'm gonna go check.
Yeah, I'm gonna head
Anna
as well.
Well, it's
see you
nice
around, Janina.
Yeah. See you. Take care.
Take care. And you start heading towards Hotel Bristol.
Yes.
With those words exchanged. And what's on your mind now as you're heading there?
Well, there's like something like words from Daniel that I shouldn't put myself into risk situations, but he's not here, and I really want to avenge him and Sigmund, and I'm just tired of this battle. And if I'm going to die, but take one of them with me, then it's worth it, even though I just want to protect people I love and not lose anyone else.
And with those thoughts, you are returning. Earlier. There.
Enough of purring.
I'm sorry, I'm still not over the purring.
You've overheard
Yes.
conversation, and you're sitting there thinking about Felicia leaving. And you notice Casper comes up to you again. This time with more purpose, but still looking at you with certain curiosity, but more certainty now.
I turn to him this time. I'm still sitting on the ground.
He points towards where Irmina is, currently dancing with Arek, and says, "This is Beatrice Wozniak. Here in the present, this is my wife."
Can you not see it?
See what?
The face underneath.
What face underneath?
You need to see. You're looking with your eyes, but you're not seeing what's actually there.
No, I don't understand. But you are changed.
I'm also wearing a face currently, just as she is.
He considers it. But that is Beatrice Wozniak. I thought about it. And I think you might be just no one. I'm sorry. He says, and there's this genuine concern, like he feels bad for you and bad saying it. You are now a woman who is dead.
Yes.
I've been watching, trying to figure it out. And I don't think you are someone right now. Am I wrong?
I'm looking for someone else to be.
Why can't you be yourself?
Because nobody wants me to be myself.
What is yourself? Here in this moment.
I am love. My love for my friends. My loved ones. And I glance around, and my gaze goes to Arek and to Felicia.
He considers it. What else? No one can be just love for others. That's
Maybe.
not a person. That's an emotion. And you cannot be an emotion. He says it's like almost frustrated, trying to again figure something out. Almost with a question in his voice. Or can you?
I guess we'll find out.
I hope you will.
Thank you. I just feel kind of hollow and sad. And still very alone.
And he looks to you and once again says, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Casper.
Nods his head.
Will you tell me about her? Your wife?
Of course. And he tells you a story about in the past, a version of him. Or him, and he gets confused even thinking to it. And he gets a bit frustrated trying to recount the story, but then he says, there was someone whom she met, someone who looked like I look now. And he's not satisfied with it, but he continues and tells you a story of your meeting as you lived in the same neighborhood, and eventually got closer. And you were both kind of lost, kind of different, not really as attracted to each other as many people seemed to be attracted to each other, but you loved each other very well, very much, and you wanted to be together. And you fell into this deep, deep love. And you ran a shop together. And then you decided to have a child. And you tried. And you had a son. And he tells you that then Beatrice Wojniak was lost during the bombardment. And he tells you that his son died of typhus during the war, and that he looked for Beatrice Wozniak and found her. She found him, and she made it so that they could be together again, forever. And what do you feel listening to that?
I feel sad. And it does feel very much like someone else, but also like an echo of me. And when he speaks about the boy dying, the son, I think something in me slightly breaks. What was your son's name?
Shimon. But he is no more.
But you can keep him in your memory.
A version, many versions of him, yes.
Hold on to him.
I will always.
Never let him go.
Nods his head. Looks to Irmina, looking like Beatrice Wojniak. It was heartbreaking to share, although it happened to someone different now.
It was heartbreaking to hear.
Maybe you are love. But a person can't be just one emotion. I think you should be a person. It's better that way.
Maybe.
But not some dead woman. Your own person.
All right. I'll think on it. Would you remind me of that again?
If I
What?
see you, but you're going to the lady, I
True.
don't go there. At
That's
least I
fair.
haven't been there yet.
Well, if you see me again, would you remind me?
Of course,
Thank you.
whoever I will be.
I sometimes feel like I'm almost something new every day.
We all are something new every day.
Everything from beforehand is lost for me.
There is beforehand and present. They're not necessarily connected.
I don't get to hold them the way that you do. They slip away.
He thinks on it and then gets it and nods his head, looks sad. I'm sorry.
Thank you. A lot of people don't get it, so I appreciate it.
It's hard. Well,
Yes.
I know it's hard being one of us. It feels like the world shattered into pieces. And I hold them. But they don't make sense. And it seems you don't hold them at all.
It's like they slip from my fingers, I suppose.
I don't know what's worse.
We're all cursed in our own ways, I suppose.
I've
Or
heard we're
blessed.
blessed.
Yes, I've heard that too.
But I need to understand my blessing. I don't yet.
I'd also like to understand mine better, but we'll see.
Be love and find more fragments to attach to it.
Thank you.
Is that how you make a person?
I don't know, but it's probably worth trying.
Possibly. And he's thinking on it. And you say, as he was telling you the story of the past, there was a lot of frustration trying to think back on it and put it together. But now he's kind of just considering, and the thoughts are free floating, and he feels more relaxed just considering this.
And I smile at him as he does that.
And he smiles at you. And you hear, sorry,
and just kind of sit with him for a while and just consider his words.
And he sits with you, and not long after that, you hear footsteps coming somewhere closer, and you hear Anita's voice saying, I think it's time for you to get going. Remember, ask the voivode to help you. She will remove them. And you see Anita coming up with Arek. And some people are like following, watching. And Anita turns to Janko and Danka and says, "All right, you two, pack her up for him. He needs to get to the voivode tonight." And she gestures to you as she says that. And Casper looks to you and says, "I'm sorry." And there is genuine regret and compassion there as he says it. But he seems quite confused by what he's saying as well.
I look at him and I say, "Thank you for telling me the story."
"I'll keep it, even though it doesn't make sense." And at that, you see Danka and Janko come up with not really a stake, but just like a piece of wood they found somewhere. You think is broken off some of the crates that they had here, and a big sack. And Janko puts an arm around you and kisses you on the cheek and says, "It's time for you to go, but I hope I will see you again." And he puts a stake through your heart.
Well, well done.
Unless you try to resist.
I don't think that's going to work very well somehow.
So you don't. So you let him do this. And then Danka puts a sack over your head and kind of packs you in there upside down as you end up being.
Great.
And you can't really move. So they push you inside. And then you hear Arik being like, "She can walk, you know."
Not right now,
and the Janko will be like, "Oh, come on. It will be faster this way."
I mean, I guess it's probably not wrong.
And you hear some commotion. You hear the voice of, you think the woman you don't really know the name of, you don't really know her very well, but she is beautiful with long red hair, who says, "I will come with you. There is someone there I want to see." And Arik is like more respectful now. "Oh, of course, of course." And he stops arguing with the others. And you feel him pick up quite gently, at which the people go like, "Ooh, he's in love. Come on."
If I could roll my eyes,
Weakling.
I would.
And they're generally just booing him at that. But he ignores them. And he's trying to be as gentle as he can under the circumstances.
That's very sweet of him.
Yourself being carried in a sack
Gently.
towards Lady Leocadia. And I think that is a good point to end.
Yeah,
That was great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to everyone who's been watching. We hope you enjoyed it with bonus cut content, quite a lot of it tonight.
Making up for lost time.
Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you being here with us after the break. Our schedule, unfortunately, is gonna be a bit shifted. We are going to be back in 3 weeks because in 2 weeks my work requires me quite late, which is annoying. But we will be back on the 17th of September at the same time, 6:30 p.m. British Summer Time on the Lamias channel. And we hope you will join us for the continuation of the story where we might bring the two timelines back together again, hopefully.
Maybe I'll get to leave the sack.
So thank you all so much once again. We'll see you in 3 weeks. And until then, keep well and good night.
Good night.